Thank you, everyone, for coming to the October 17th class board meeting. I'm John Slade. I'm one of the president and one of the two presidential folks here, I'm going to say. Scott still has a presidential aura around him as well. I wanted to also say, let's see, in our executive team reports, we're going to start working with that. Thanks everyone for working with the Zoom links and trying to figure how all of this stuff goes. Yeah, my biggest news is not probably my wonderful 2-week trip to Ireland, Scotland, and England, but the news that I got back, took a CT scan and found I have a heart condition for which I'm going in for surgery in a week. And so I'm going to be out on medical leave for about 2 months. It's big, open heart bypass, was asymptomatic, caught it because of a strained shoulder muscle on the left-hand side, led to let's go make sure it wasn't a heart attack, and it wasn't. But while we were there, we got some the trail of breadcrumbs that led to figuring out that I've got blockages that need to get taken care of. So sadly, Scott, who was like looking to have the presidential door hit his butt on the way out, is going to have to do at least a couple more months of presidenting, as I'm going to be out for a bit. I also, I found out about this, 3-4 weeks ago, and have been scrambling, trying to do all sorts of things. So it's wonderful as I look at you that I know that a lot of the folks here are graceful and are willing to extend that grace to me and everybody else here.
I'm graceful, John, but I am full of grace. I'm not very graceful. How's that sound?
Yeah. I'm a congregational organizer, so I kind of slip into those faith-based terms.
Mhm.
That is, there's a little bit of other good news in the presidential or in the treasurer stuff, but that's kind of my update. Ireland was awesome. Scotland was awesome. My kid and my wife fell sick in Edinburgh, and so we had a sweet, but wrapping the kid in his new Irish sweater and feeding him lots of tea for the last week, which was also sweet and fun. So that was a great time.
If you're going to get sick in any city, Edinburgh would be okay.
Yeah. My kid got declared a temporary Scottish citizen, so we could go to the National Health and get an antibiotic, which we did for free. So yay, National Health. Which is not one of our 3 things that we at class focus on, but I think it's probably pretty popular among this crowd. I'm going to also say that Kate Goebel is both an employee and a board member, and we are all, as always, conscious of that potential conflict of interest, and I think we do a pretty good job at keeping that. Scott, do you have any executive teamy report that you want?
Well, I think what I'll do, John, is I'm just going to go back. You did say October 17th for start of the meeting, but for the record, it is October 7th meeting.
Yes.
And then also for clarity from just a board standpoint, Kate is not an employee, but she's a contractor with class. So I think therein lies the difference that we should probably make certain that is stated for the record. How's that?
On the recording.
On the recording.
Well, so thank you once again for your being full of grace and also really good detail. I can certainly facilitate for about 50 minutes, and then I might have to leave soon after that. Treasurer's report. Since we don't have, oh wait, yeah, we don't have a treasurer. We do have a wonderful secretary. Did we all receive bank statements? I've seen them. Taylor, you sent them, right? Yep, yep. So Sarah Anseth is indeed processing our incomes and outgoes. We still do need a treasurer. We have income in the bank and are able to spend it on good things like Kate. We also, I don't have those open in front of me. Does anyone have them open in front of them?
There are links to them in the reminder email sent. It may have had the wrong email or the wrong link for the meeting that required a passcode, but it does have a link for the agenda and the statement of activity and the statement of financial position.
All right, good. There we go. We've got about, I think we've got 1,400 in the bank. We have looked at we had 2 grants submitted. We also have had 2 grants submitted. Those were to the Vadnais Heights Community Foundation, the Greater White Bear Lake Community Foundation. We've asked both of them for $2,000. We were given a strong hint from Greater White Bear Lake that they might like to see us come in every other year. This is that year. We have been, I believe, awarded $1,000 from both of these folks in the past. And so with our dues are coming in at about 1,500, 13 to 1,500 a year now. And with dues, with Kate keeping good track of how to trim some time, I think that the state of our financial situation is good, particularly if we nail one of those 2 grants. So that's kind of the treasurer report. Any questions about money? Seeing none. Secretary Taylor Johnson.
Hello. Not a ton to go over here for nuts and bolts things. We have you can always follow the notes on that link that we have here in the agenda, and then our upcoming events are updated regularly by the lovely Kate. And so we have, if you were wondering what's coming up, you can click on those events and check them out. We'll talk more about events and what's coming up as we go around to new business and action items, but nothing in particular for me.
Here. Very good. All right. Now it is time.
We have a raised hand from Scott, if you can't.
Oh,
yeah.
raised hand from Scott. There we go.
Just
Scott,
real quick, as we talk about the submitted Vadnais Heights, I would share that I had a phone call. For the life of me, I can't remember her name now, but she's on the board for the foundation and was asking for some financials, a little bit more than what we sent in. And as I walked her through what class is all about and how we get our funding and this type of thing, she realized that we had presented enough information for her to go back to the board with. She felt fairly confident that we will be getting a grant this year from Vadnais Heights. To what degree, I don't know, but she loves the fact of how we are supporting the senior service providers within the area. And that was a pretty big thing for them to continue support with. So hopefully that news comes back good for close to the amount that we were asking, but we shall see.
And also just another piece in there that, yes, thanks for the correction, Kate. Kate puts
Yes,
them on the
Muriel.
website, but Katie, I'm pointing at you down here, but Katie sends out the email. So if you have any events coming up or anything that you want to get shared, make sure you do that before the beginning of the month so that she can include that in the newsletter and get the word out about events and all of that. That's a huge service that you do for us, Katie. Thank you.
Yes, and Katie, it was Muriel. And she mentioned she spoke with you too, I think.
Well, that's great news. So under our old business, we've got kind of our standard check-in from folks. It's fall is falling. or it kind of is fall. Minnesota appears to be like resetting all of its seasons a little bit. But check in on fall plans. And I'm just going to call off folks. And I'm going to start with, we're building from the base up, at least on my screen. I see Katie Everett and Allie Lucan. Katie, you want to check in for how are you doing and what are your fall plans looking like? Then Katie.
I am very busy. If anyone didn't hear, Alyssa took a new job, so I am now doing her job and rehiring her for her position. So I have this much time. I probably will leave early today, but coming up for us is a Scarecrow Trail and a Halloween party. We've been partnering with the City of Little Canada this summer and fall for some senior trips. So they just went out to Stillwater a couple weeks ago. They did a boat cruise and a winery stop. That was really fun. And then December, we have a trip down to Sidekick Theater in Bloomington for like a holiday concert and lunch down there. So keeping us busy, and we'll look into doing our winter lunches again. All of that kind of stuff will start rolling out hopefully around November 1st.
All right. Allie, then Lynn. Oh, didn't hear you there.
Sorry, I was listening.
Oh, I know. I was trying to get Allie,
Oh, so you're trying to get Allie, not me. Okay.
but I'm not hearing Allie. What the heck? Looking around, click that little button next to audio, flip the switch. Nuh-uh, still not.
Your mic icon is coming on and off, but we can't hear you.
All right, so we'll go with Lynn and then Allie when she comes back out has the power of sound. Lynn.
Yeah, happy fall, everybody. As others have indicated, fall programming is in full swing. Just wrapped up a very full class of Matter of Balance up at Atlanta Lakes. We are seeing a lot of, with our campus now a year and a half in, a lot of growth up there. A lot of, I'm sure Allie, is, a partner in crime, sending folks our way with all our wellness classes, so that we're actually starting waiting lists already up there. So we just planned for 2025, and we will be expanding. Not so much the number of classes, but definitely up in that area. I know Sarah may have intel on this, but those third ring suburbs are, there's not a lot. There's just not the same in offerings, and the presence of social services is, not as distinct for families. And so when we offer things, White Bear, we drew from Hugo all the way over to Atlanta Lakes. So that I'm really watching that, and we're watching that because there's definitely a third ring suburb aging that is needing to connect, and they don't want to move, and they want to stay put, and all the good things, staying close to family. And then just today, actually, we're starting a Powerful Tools for Caregivers that also is, a little bit beyond capacity, but we're going to make it work. And so, people are connecting to our wellness programming, and that's great. So planning to, if we can, and able to keep responding to the need in that regard. All of our respite programming, same. We're looking at increasing things up in the Atlanta Lakes area for sure from what we saw this year. So to be determined what all that will look like, but we're developing that here in the fourth quarter for next year.
All right, excellent. Allie, do you think you got sound now?
Can you hear me now? I don't know what happened, but I whipped out my other computer too, just to be in case. Hello, sorry I've been so distant. I've missed all of you. Summer was crazy busy around here. Usually my September month is kind of my down month, but we can all laugh at that because my coworker he left at the beginning of September. So I am now doing everything again. So here we go. Applications actually just closed on Friday, so hopefully we'll get that ball rolling and we'll be able to get someone else in here to take a load off my plate. But with that being the case, we've got our Bobbing for Pumpkins event coming up this Friday for families. We've got a scarecrow crawl coming up at the end of the month. We have our AARP coming up this month, which we do every month. We've got our seniors are on a trip. They left this morning to go for 4 days to what's the place up north? Beautiful Cherries. Why can't I think of it? It's in Wisconsin.
County?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. To Door County. See, I knew where they were going. To Door County for 4 days. They'll come back on Thursday. We have day trips set up. So we pretty much do a monthly day trip or a day trip every single month. And then lots of other classes and fitness classes in between. So between all of my job and getting my stuff together, sad thing is that I was just told that day camp, I had to include day camp in our winter newsletter, which is due tomorrow. So I have to go plan all of day camp and have it ready to go by tomorrow, which I'm just not ready to think about next summer yet.
All right. Thank you so much, Taylor. Then Sarah.
Hello. Do I take notes as I'm talking? I don't know. Take notes on myself. It feels strange. I'm just going to talk. I am having a crazy busy October too, and not just for services, but for events that we have got going on. We have been all over the place. People have been asking us to talk a lot about green services, green burial, more sustainable disposition options. We have been all over the place for that. We have a just full umbrella lunch and learn that's coming up for any kind of service people want. That's coming up on Thursday this week at noon, and that's going to be at the Manitou Bar and Kitchen, and it's upstairs and there's an elevator so people can get there, but it's a free lunch and it's just getting people in a kind of comfortable environment so they can hear about, talk about, listen to, make a plan for end of life services, just whether it's traditional or ecological, doesn't matter. The whole spectrum, we cover at that one. And then on October 19th, which is Saturday, a week from Saturday, we are hosting another Green Funeral Expo, which Lynn came to the last one that was in White Bear. This one's going to be at our St. Paul location, and we're just talking about more sustainable disposition options. It's a really great format. Everybody talks for like 3 to 5 minutes about what they do in a presentation format for the first 45, and then afterwards it's cheese boards and and table talks with people who are the vendors and service providers so people can ask their specific questions of those folks and just get more information about what it looks like to have a sustainable funeral. So then we're talking at churches where we just went to a very cool thing at St. Andrew's Lutheran Church with Pat Miles, who was speaking. She wrote a book about how unprepared she was for her husband to die when he got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer and died 3 months later, and how it just blew up her entire life. And she just realized that there were just conversations they weren't willing to have. And one of the most powerful things that she had said was, once he got diagnosed and he got sick, I couldn't talk to him about the things we needed to talk about because it felt like I was giving up. And so that it just made me it just crushed me when she said that, because this is the thing that we talk about with people making a plan while they're still healthy or while there's not some impending illness or a big huge surgery or something like that, to have the tough conversations, because it's easier when everybody's healthy and it's not like we're giving up on your ability to survive. It's so that's my 2 seconds and the things that are going on and rattling around in my mind.
Great. Sarah, then Kate.
Hi, everybody. We're gonna have a busy month and a half or so here as the Age Friendly Minnesota team at the state just released the next round of community grants for Age Friendly Minnesota, and so we are providing technical assistance for that grant opportunity. And I'm happy to share more about that if you all want me to when we do community liaison updates. But that will be occupying a lot of my time in the next month and a half. And so far, it's a good start to fall.
Kate and Scott?
Well, hi, everyone. I haven't seen a lot of you guys in a while. Back into August, I had COVID that took me out for a solid 2 weeks that I was testing positive, and we have had back-to-back visitors, including our friends from Germany, and my in-laws just left this past weekend. And I managed to, over my husband's birthday, either bruise, fracture, or break my tailbone. So we've had a bit of an adventurous summer, and my music stuff continues to grow, building more programs in the community. And one that I'm really proud of is one of the local group homes. Several clients that I see in there, we're putting together a Christmas program for all of them, where they are the performers and they are picking out their entire setup of how we're going to perform. So trying to combine at least 3, if not 4 houses, and possibly a different company's group home to all come together. So there's been a lot of stuff on the music front that's kept us busy, and a lot on the home front that's just kind of kept me trying to keep pace with everything else going on. So I just want to extend my love and condolences to everyone and all the stuff that you guys are dealing with or have dealt with, because it's a lot. And I think we all know that, you know, we're happy to jump in when we need to, but also recognize when you yourself might be drowning. So
Yeah.
make sure you're taking care of yourselves, you guys.
Thanks, Kate. Can I ask which group homes in the area?
REM and Access.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Scott and myself.
Oh, again, yeah, things here at New Tracks are extremely busy and getting more busy. We're working with, I'm going to say, upwards of about 120 different senior communities providing transportation. We continue to grow our circulator loops. We're working with Katie in the city of Hatteras Heights and a lot of other community centers with day events that they've got going on. So that is a good thing. We're slowly getting caught up with some of our new bus inventory, which we've been waiting on since COVID. We went nearly 3.5 years on getting any new buses when we normally get about 8 every year. So our maintenance team has been extremely busy keeping these buses safe and on the road. And so we're thankful that we have more rounds of buses that are coming. On a really positive note, I wanted to share something here. I became a grandfather for a second time this summer. And let's see if she comes up here.
Oh.
I don't know what is showing. Is it a picture of a
Both.
little girl?
Yeah, and you holding baby.
Okay, there we go. So that's Marley, born to my oldest son 3 weeks ago. So
Oh, Marley.
we had a grandson back in June. So life is good. Life is good. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I also just was scrolling, you all at New Tracks won an award locally.
That's right. I got to get used to talking about that now, I guess. We were voted the best large employer in the White Bear Lake area to work for.
Nice.
So that is our second year in a row with that award. It's kind of special. So we're happy for that.
Great. So on the positive side in my life, you are not the only board I am the president of. I am the president of the Southeast Community Organization, which is the official neighborhood for the Sunray kind of neighborhood in St. Paul. And we were without an executive director for 6 months. He started on the 1st. And I was just, I'm dealing with all these loose ends. Would like to have had more time to hand off to him, but still, it is a huge relief. My fall plans are to watch a lot of TV and learn how to stand up without using my arms. And I apparently am in for a lot of being extremely tired. It is also the case that the MICA Northeast Affordable Housing Bus Tour is tomorrow morning. from 8 to 9:30. That is a virtual bus tour. We're going to be touring Solid Ground. And Diamond Hunter is their new executive director. So we'll be hearing from Diamond about what Solid Ground is doing. The Washington County Emergency Housing Services Building, which will be the first shelter for male homeless folks that Washington County has had, aside from renting occasional hotel rooms, got approved by the Stillwater City Council. It's moving forward, so we'll be hearing an update on that. The Purple People, Purple Line Coalition, will be talking about whether or not Maplewood's vote to not like the line actually means it's going to stop or not. I think not, but it does make it a little more interesting. And then Habitat for Humanity just gave what somebody said was the best birthday present Jimmy Carter could have had for his 100th birthday. The Habitat for Humanity Carter Build, Jimmy and Rosalind Carter build project at the Heights, the old Hillcrest Golf Course. And they're putting 147 Habitat units in there. So that's what we're going to be reviewing on the bus tour tomorrow. Let's see, almost everybody here is crazy busy. And so if you have the time to join us, please feel free to do so. So I think that is my check-in. Anybody else have a last little thing that they forgot to talk about?
We also won Best Funeral Home. We won Best Funeral Home in the White Bear Press, in the Hugo Citizen, the Shoreview Press that hasn't come out yet. Oh, I'm not supposed to tell you that. We won it for next week, and then also in the Quad Community. So we won in all four, the whole Northeast.
Awesome. And then Katie got another link.
It did come out, so you can announce it.
Okay. Great. So also, as we move to the face-to-face networking event, October 9th at Prince of Peace Lutheran in Roseville. And I'm going to just actually take this to say here is an item of new business. Julia Wolf, our wonderful Ramsey County liaison, had her mother pass away just recently. She is not here today since she is taking a day, but I have double checked and she is fine with continuing with our networking mashup. With Scott, somebody had said, should we send some flowers? And we have sent flowers for folks in the past. And so I'd like to entertain a motion that we spend 50 or 60 bucks to send Julia Wolf some flowers in memory of her mother.
John, I'd be happy to make that motion, but should we have a little discussion about how we do extended class? I think what we were practicing is when any one of the class board members had a parent who passed away or an immediate family members is what we were looking at. Do we want to have any discussion on, how extended we go with that type of thing?
That's a great start of the discussion.
Any input?
I believe, I look at Sarah and Julia though, even though they are not official board members, I still look at them as board members and I feel like they should qualify as one of us. I just, that's how I look at that. And I would think, I look at our personnel policy and it's immediate family. So it wouldn't be like my aunt or my uncle, but parents of in-laws or biological parents, that to me makes sense, but that's just me.
All
I
right.
think parents, children, spouses seems usually to be immediate family. I don't want to sound insensitive, but it could be debatable whether or not parents, because it's kind of an expected thing for for people of a certain age serving on boards.
Well, I'm with you on that. I just want to support you in that. My mom passed last year and I did not expect flowers from class and you didn't send flowers. So I guess we need to just sort of think that through. If we want it to be moms, dads, elders, I mean, I'm sure it would be appreciated no matter what. But as a very small volunteer organization, I guess I have a similar opinion, Taylor, that I don't think it's expected.
And with a small organization with a very small budget.
Yeah, yes.
So, I mean, if we have 3 people who lose someone in a year, that's a big dent in our small budget. But, and then also in those cases, I would encourage everyone or encourage us to check their website or check the obituary to see if they have an in lieu of flowers. Because as much as we like that as a public show of our support, oftentimes they say in lieu of flowers and people send flowers anyway, and they would rather have that money go to a organization that they support.
Right. Do we know even her name or anything? I guess that's what I was wondering.
Diana Hammer.
Diane Knockhammer?
Oh, wait, no. Julia sent me a Facebook post, Rhoda Weinstein, RHODA. Weinstein.
Is there a happy medium where we could send her? I know I appreciated all of the sympathy cards that I received. That doesn't cost, but it does share space with her in this loss. So same kind of sentiment, but it doesn't fall into the category of needing to affect ongoing budget or decisions around spending money. And how far do we go and all those things, right?
Would it make sense, since we have our event this Wednesday, that we could bring a card that everyone who's available could sign and we could give it to her? That'd be an appropriate way to acknowledge this and not have to dip into the class budget.
I'm coming and I'd be happy to pick up a card if that's the way we decide to go.
Lynn, if you could, that would be great. I think that's a great idea. And I don't know as if we have to vote today as to whether we come up with policy for class, but I think everyone's had some good input as to, how deep and how widespread do we go with the limited budget that we have. I think the idea is about acknowledging somebody's passing and having an opportunity to grieve with them and show an expression through a card is a wonderful idea. But to that point, Taylor, that's a pretty big budget if we start doing that, because in a given year, who knows what could happen? It could be 4, 5, 6 different situations. So yeah,
I do like spouses and children. I'm like, if that
Totally.
whether we vote on it or policy it right now, I feel that. And I would, yes, absolutely. Let's Scott, are you
Just as some
Everybody thinks-
historical context, we've done it several different ways, so I'm glad we're actually kind of talking about it.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
I know we've had members that have lost their a child, and we've had board members that have lost a parent, and we've looked at supporting those both. And so maybe it is getting to that time where we need to make some space for an actual intentional plan.
why don't we start with this then, just for the sake of time, and because I think everyone was aboard with when it was talked about. We can go deeper at another time, but I would make a motion for class. See if I can say it right here. For class to be extending condolences through a sympathy card to family members, to include spouse and children, and would it be parents as well then? Okay, then
I think yes,
Some-
because we're talking sympathy card,
yeah.
that would be appropriate.
So I'll make a motion that class approves our protocol for a sympathy gesture would be a greeting, or not a greeting card, but a sympathy card for parents spouses, or children of any class board member or liaison, community liaison.
Perfect.
All in favor, say aye, or raise
Aye.
hand, or thumb. All opposed? Passed. Sweet. Thank you. All right.
John, speaking, I don't know what you were gonna say next, but we had talked, a few have said you plan to be there. Could we see a show of hands of who plans to be there Wednesday? And I'll say the reason why I'm asking that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. John, you are not, correct? Or Taylor's there, 5.
My hand was over
I know, I'm like,
Your hands and hold them up and keep them up. There we go. 1,
near your
2,
face.
3. We have 5 for sure. The reason that I was asking is that when we had our last networking meeting, I'm just going to be blunt. I was the only one there, and then Lynn had shown up just a little bit after we got started, and we had a lot of new faces there. And so I know that everyone's got things going on. But for this mashup, I think this is so important to have good board representation on Wednesday. I'm highly going to stress it, knowing that this is not a guilt trip on those who can't make it. Don't worry if you can't, but highly recommending this for the first time of a mashup.
Good.
what's our number looking like? I see the link. Do we know how many people have RSVP'd? Katie, thank you.
There are 5 on there, but Lynn is the only one of you that just raised your hands that signed up, so. I'm gonna be in interviews that day or I would be there,
Yeah.
so.
I think Julia said that she had about 30 RSVPs. So at one point,
So let's.
Thought I had RSVP'd, Katie. Apparently not, so.
And I know my coworker's coming. I mean, there might be 2 Linglums and my intern. So do we want to do any kind of a special? I mean, with knowing that many people from the county are coming, we would love to not be standing there with 5 class members. It would be just fine, obviously, but I'm trying to think of when you sent the email, was it last week? That went to all the members, correct? Yeah, okay. Who's doing the lunch? Is that the county?
Julia,
Okay,
she got the budget.
nice. That is really nice. I thought that would definitely draw people. So I'm surprised to hear that there's 5 people.
I could also send out another email like I did before, which is just like from me saying, hey, this is going on. And if you've got the
Yeah.
room in your schedule, come and have lunch with us.
Yeah, but I just mean, did they need a head count for food? I mean, I didn't know if that was cut off today or tomorrow or.
I haven't heard anything about
And that's kind of reason to send out another email.
You know, our estimate was 15 that we put forward when we met a month ago on it
Good to know.
from our side. And so,
Okey-doke.
Oh, we estimated that 15 class people would be there. Okay, I see, I
Yep.
see.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So I think if we throw it out there and 5, 10 more show up, we'll be just fine.
mm,
And maybe even just say we have room for more so that it's sort of in the, even if it's last minute, we have room.
Yep.
Super.
grand. So are we, and I have preoperative medical appointments. I may be able to make it. I may be stuck in St. John's in Maplewood, which would be the terminus for the Purple Line if it goes through as currently planned. Anything else on our face-to-face networking event?
Is there like agenda, or is there some pieces that we need the board to be involved in, or is that being planned separately?
Scott?
It
did
is
you want
being
to-
planned separately, yes.
Got it,
And
got
we've-
it. Well, let us know if you need us for any pieces.
Julia says a little bit about her group. Scott says a little bit about our group. We break out. Most of the session is intended to be breakouts. We used a couple of the questions of our wonderful question cards, just as a way to do it. And I think, are we doing a report? I don't even think we're doing a report back because it's only an hour. And if we've got 40 people, that's going to be a good, buzzing energy sign. So good. All right. Hey, 2024 face-to-face schedule is what is on the agenda. We've met some face-to-face. Wednesday, November 6th is our next networking. We need a location and a topic. We had thought to do this one virtually because November in Minnesota often means snowy, icy. And in our grant application, to both of the grant applications were, hey, we are probably going to be meeting face-to-face more. That'll be more costs like room rentals and things like that. But I did say, and we'll probably also do virtual meetings during winter. So
I had down that we were going to Venice Heights City Hall. Is that not happening on November 6th?
does Venice Heights?
I didn't have that down, but
I mean, I rarely
Oh,
write.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
Maybe
remember talking about
maybe that was just a discussion point. Yeah.
November happening. Let me look at.
In the upcoming announcement, somebody wrote Alley at Lino Lakes, which is funny because when I was going through the board meeting, I was like, oh, well, we could do it, except then I looked and we have no space that day. We're
Oh,
booked out that day.
And I think we're talking about it being at City Hall because that's the day after elections and the commons will be getting cleaned out still. We can do it here, I think. Let me double check. We just switched all of our room calendar stuff. That doesn't want to load.
course not.
I will double check those. I think I might have when we talked about that before, just put it on there. Council chambers. I'm not seeing anything here on November 6th. So if we want it in Venice Heights, we can do it here.
Any
Taylor's got a
opposition to that?
thumb Nope.
All right, I say we plan it.
All
I'm
right.
just writing a note down here for that. If that works, Katie, I think that would be great.
And so
So
that
I'll
is,
continue to try to find, so you're not stuck with having to do, like we did last time, you were kind of the, more or less the host. But if I found somebody that wanted to be host, just happening to be at the Vadnais City Hall, if we want to have somebody who could be like a lead speaker introducing their company and have that first part, how does that sound? Or do you have enough new things that you would like to do that?
No.
Okay.
Passing that buck right along. There we go.
I have
All
an idea. Ray, one of our new members, I think would love to do that. And actually he was on the list of RSVPs. So I think I will chat with him Wednesday about November.
And then I can still come up with questions to answer like usual.
Good. Good.
Ellie,
Who's bringing coffee?
is that on our end or is that Julia's end still?
Nope, this is
Right.
network.
Oh, still, I'm sorry, networking.
Yep.
We'll get that
I
figured
can
out.
handle coffee here.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, and I will talk with Ray and find out if as a sponsor, does by chance he have any budget that he wanted to bring anything or have us get something on his behalf? We'll chat with him on Wednesday. I don't want to push that too hard, but I know that when he first joined and him and I had a long conversation, he was pretty excited about getting more involved with class and wanted to talk up his business. So maybe that'll be his opportunity.
Can
What
I ask?
what business is Ray?
That's what I was
I'm
gonna
try-
ask.
I'm trying to recall right now off the top of my head.
Is he the
too.
Medicare?
Is he a is he a computer guy?
No,
He was at Trellis, correct?
yes.
He asked a lot of questions about funding, so I'm feeling like he's in the industry.
Yeah,
I remember that too. Mhm.
And whoever had a ring, that's a very lovely ring tone that you just,
I think that was Lynn.
yeah. Lynn, has drawn the veil of, oh, I'm on a call during a meeting. All right. So that sounds like
I'm
absolute
sorry,
great
excuse me,
plan.
just a second there, John. Kate, do you by chance know with the recent website that you set up for Ray, what category was he in?
Let me check.
Sorry to take the time here on that, but
No, that's okay. And what organization was he with again?
We don't know.
Got it. Okay. Let me dig into our information. Ray that's Rachel.
no. Was it? Not Rachel.
Long-term care funding solutions.
There we go.
That's his title, so I put that under financial legal.
There we go. I just pulled it up here.
Okay.
Later in life planning solutions, tax-free benefits. It's pretty interesting. So I think if I'm on the right one here, I think that this is the one that he was involved with for a while. So Long-Term Care in a Post-COVID World is a book that he is touting. So we'll talk with him on Wednesday to find out his appetite for November networking.
So is the ask there to give a little it's like a combo ask, like if you sponsor treats or something, then or sponsor money to have us provide treats, and then you get the opportunity to talk?
If you're strictly speaking, it was set up to be, if you're a member, you can have 5 minutes to talk about your organization and 5 minutes to talk about how the industry that you're in is part of our world. So 5 minutes specific, 5 minutes kind of general informational, and then you could talk. And sponsoring treats there was no explicit or implicit quid pro quo, but it's a fine thing in my mind to ask. So
Yes.
that's my understanding.
Love it.
If he
Anybody else?
provides treats, I'm going to give him an extra minute. That's only fair.
All right.
Katie, did I give you an extra minute or two when you provided treats?
I had plenty of minutes.
Okay.
All the minutes you could ask for, all the minutes you can eat. All right. Hey, our annual board meeting is December 2nd. Do we want to meet in person? And by we, I mean you, because I'm still not quite going to be off leave at that point. We've met at restaurants for our annual. It was
Was that Olive Garden last year?
No, Olive Garden has been our meet and greet to try and drum up folks. It was a closed restaurant that had a nice room, kind of a Western-y theme. We would get it, sit around. I forget where it was.
John, when did we do that last year? Because the time we did it before that
It was before.
was after elections, and no, we've had one since then, right?
Okay.
Kate?
So
Was it 2 years ago?
the one that you're describing, John, sounds like when what is now Top 10 Liquors used to be a restaurant. Was it Jake's or
Jax.
Jack's?
Um,
It's Mad Jack's.
Mad Jack's, thank you.
Because all of my food allergies, they were the best place that ever took care of me. And so when they went out of business, I literally cried. It
Mm,
was so sad.
Should have gone there more, Allie.
And I have a gift card that never got used. So that even more irritates me.
Oh.
There's other
Wonder if-
locations. Did you know that?
No, where? I'm gonna have to look that
Oh.
up.
Yeah, I don't remember. Brooklyn's
Oh.
Park or something.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Guess we're going out to dinner.
we did have another one that was at Olive Garden. I think it was post-COVID. And it was really after we had board elections. It was kind of a meet and greet to celebrate the new, kind of the incoming and anyone who was interested in coming. I think we just had appetizers that were served, just talking more about class and our plans for that calendar year. Kate's nodding her head, so I think we're on track with what that was all about. Then this last year, I just forget, was it in January or February that we did that? Because we had such a hard time finding a date. It was February. And that was, again, kind of that meet and greet with our existing board members and anyone interested to come and even hear about class. And we had some appetizers, and I think we had probably a dozen or more people that were there, if I'm remembering correctly. So that is the intent of after the first of the year, I think, once elections are done.
Sure. So the annual board meeting on December 2nd will be virtual. And we will look at a 2025 in-person event. Sounds good.
That works.
All right. So I've got a 3 o'clock in physical realm, so I need to leave relatively quickly. The next item that we've got is board succession planning, next year officer roles. New board members, do you think you'll stay? Can we get Jess Crandall? And in December, we should, everybody click on that meeting review we'll be looking at our bylaws, which is downloadable off of our agenda if you're in on the agenda. So Scott, will you stay on the board?
We'll stay on the board, but outside of the president role. I'll be a board member.
Okay. I will stay on the board and I will give you 1 more year as president unless I have a post-heart surgery reevaluation of my life. But it's a strong leans yes. Taylor? Staying in your role? Okay. Katie? Staying on. Allie? Thank you. Kate? All right. Sarah? Sweet. Lynn? All right.
Yay. I'll just
Sorry, quick
John, my
thing.
dad had quad bypass and he felt like $1 million afterwards. He had no idea how declined his oxygen level and all. He
Mhm.
just was a new person. So I'm gonna mantra that for your experience.
My child is hoping that my memory returns because he's always like, Dad, you promised that. And I'm like, did I really?
Well,
And sometimes, so I've taken to writing things down when I talk to my kid.
there's that.
Anyway.
John, as an encouragement, I've had a couple friends who have gone through this and their caregivers had set them up the same way that yours is setting you up because they have to. They have to be very upfront about what the possibilities are, but they came out of it. It was not 2 months for them. It was much less. They were up and running. Yes, they had some pain that was just kind of the healing pain, but they knew it was a good pain because it was just on the road to recovery. So good thoughts in that direction.
Excellent.
Don't let yourself get too down about that whole 2-month thing. Could be less.
All right. So it says possible Jess Crandall from Amada.
It'll be a yes.
Yes, Jess is a yes.
Jess is a yes.
Okay, great. I was looking through our bylaw or some old stuff. At one point, we had 15 board members and some community liaisons. Yeah, that's pretty much what we've got. Always, as always, we need to recruit. Ally's raising her hand.
No, I've got a question off topic of this.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say that I have to leave in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Do we want to try and wrap up in 10 minutes? Everyone? Okay. Ally's question.
So in my notes, and maybe this is just me being bad on my calendar, I have that our networking meeting shouldn't be till November 13th. Don't we do it the second Wednesday?
There was a reason we did it on the 6th.
We did. Somebody
And
sent
I
an
don't
email out
remember.
saying that because of the election that we were going to change it. I'm recalling that. Do other people recall that?
That's okay. I just thought I was going crazy over here.
Is it the election or was it Julia's standing meeting was always in conflict?
Yeah, I think that was the latter. It was Julia's, but
Was it? Yes, because the 13th is her meeting. MCSC meeting.
So do we want to look at
That's-
always moving it?
That's Sarah's meeting.
Then we had Sarah's meeting. Oh man.
Well, is the 6th a conflict? Is that what we're saying?
No, I just on my calendar, it just made me all of a sudden look at this because I have it listed as the 13th. I went to go write down at Vadnais Heights and I was like,
Yeah, it got moved to the 6th, if I recall, right? Is that what it was?
Yep.
I do remember getting Scott's update on that.
well, in December or January, we'll be setting that whole calendar and
Okay.
hopefully have Julia here. So
And that's December 2nd? Is our annual meeting on Monday?
that looks about right.
Sorry, I triaged a couple hundred things in the last 20 minutes.
All right.
All right, so then we should be doing some looking forward place that put kind of what we can talk about it at the executive committee meeting. But looking onto January, February, because now we're kind of running out of dates on our 2025 calendar or 24 calendar. We gotta look at 25.
Yep. All right.
Thought for we were just talking about board placements. I'm wondering if we should try to get someone who's in, I think we have people who come that are in senior housing. I know Ling Blumston is like very closely related, but if we have one of the like senior living community people so that we're kind of hitting the class pillars with people on the board.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's somebody.
Right. I mean,
That
we
we
are
have in
housing
mind.
too, but yes. I'm wondering about the senior center again. Has anybody had any working relationship with anybody at the senior centers, even if it's not White Bear? We've got Shoreview, we've got
Yeah,
I would
I've
say
worked-
that White Bear is like tapped out for right now.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I've talked to Michelle. You're right. I was just even Gladstone. He's been coming.
Jordy
Yeah,
from
well-
Gladstone.
Yeah, what about getting him on the board?
Mhm.
He's been very actively attending.
Who's got a good relationship?
I just keep, I don't work with him,
I
but
know
I've been,
who he is.
yeah, I've been sitting next to him. I don't work with him, but he does seem.
I had a wonderful conversation about where his French accent comes from.
Huh?
Yep.
And I've been in touch quite a bit with Jennifer Verbrugge from Shoreview because we do a lot of transportation for their senior groups there. I can reach out and ask her. She probably knows nothing about class, but she loves what Nutrax is doing. So we'll see what her capacity might be. I can at least ask.
All right. Excellent. Well, we've just applied for 2 grants. I'm fine with skipping the grants and other income thing. And Sarah, I know that you said you had a little bit of liaison update.
Yeah, I can keep it really brief. Just sharing that age-friendly Minnesota community grant is now open as of last week. Those grant applications are due November 8th, and this time around they have structured it around the intended domains of the Minnesota Multi-Sector Blueprint for Aging. So there's 4 domains, and you can apply for up to $80,000 under any two of those domains. So I'll put the link in the chat. We are providing technical assistance, but those requests have to go through the state. So if you want technical assistance, put in your request and you can ask to work with Trellis, but you might get matched with another technical assistance provider as well. So there's the link.
Can you just briefly say the four, unless there's too many words for the domains?
Yeah, I can. The first is connected communities. The second is emergency preparedness, individual rights and safety. The third is optimized health and longevity. And the fourth is economic security and vitality. And that funding will be from February 2025 through March of 2026. And
is
it's
that
not
ju-
for direct service, it's for structural, environmental changes.
Can cities apply for this?
Yes,
So interesting.
and
I
they have
love
in the
those.
past. Yep.
Yeah, these categories are very, very wonderful.
It's a much more flexible grant than some other ones that come out of the state. So it's a good one to just look at and see if you think it fits for you.
And the grant is for, I'm sorry. What's the name of it again?
Age-friendly community grants.
All right. Any other questions about Trellis's wonderful grant opportunities? All right, I think we are ready to adjourn. All in favor, thumbs up. All opposed, you can start crying? No. All right, thank you guys. And
John,
thanks
best of
for
luck
your
with things. Will we see or hear from you before you're heading in? Or is this kind of the last time we see your face until you go in for surgery?
I may have, let's see. Well,
Is
there's
Wednesday
that-
still a maybe or Wednesday is definitely out?
Wednesday's a maybe, but leaning
Okay.
probably not.
What day is your surgery?
Monday, next
Oh.
Monday, the 14th.
So Taylor and I will catch you on Friday's call. Can we,
I
determine,
believe-
are we on for that? We've had a couple of weeks where I've been gone and.
Yep.
All right, we'll be on for Friday then.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Bye
Bye now.
everybody.